Hey all, just thought I'd do another vid. This is day 6 of my raw food thing, and I'm starting to feel good actually. Of course it's big changes on the system, and the body's used to what it's used to, and we get caught in a rut for years and stuck there, and that going round and round kind of doesn't really give us the best sort of inspiration. At least for some of us, we don't want to be stuck. You know, the soul and the spirit wants to be flowing and changing, and you know, depression comes from things stagnating and staying stuck. So I never like getting too caught in a rut with things. You know, it's not the way I am. Did a little gig last night, played a bit of guitar and sang and stuff. That was pretty good, and felt like I had the energy to do it. So what did I eat yesterday? I didn't do a video yesterday because like it's too much going on, you know. But I had 2 avocados, a little bit of lettuce, that was it, and 2 bananas. Possibly had some sunflower seeds, not sure. Yeah, so that's about it really. And felt fine, felt like I had the energy to do what I needed to do, you know, got up on stage and done all that. I mean, in the past it would be easy to just want to, well actually, I used to have a cigarette before when on stage a few years ago, you know, and I used to have 2 pints to get on, which is totally understandable. I totally understand that, because it's like, it's nerve-wracking. But the funny thing is the less I actually use something to cope, or eat loads of sugar or whatever before I go on, better I feel. So the confidence is less anyway, basically, when you try and use something to cope. So it feels good as well, actually trying to do something without being drugged. It's not easy, you know, but it's feeling easier now. It really is. Like when I use something to deal with it, it makes things harder, you know. So, and you get a good positive feeling, because you know, like, yes, I didn't need to have something to do this. I did this from here, from my strength, and I don't need something to numb me out or to help me cope with it. It takes a long time to get to that place, I think, for some of us, especially those of us who've been through trauma or have had difficult life experiences. I have. Not terrible ones, but you know, leaving my family and when I was young, and a few different things. So I'll talk about that sometime, you know, about healing and all that. There's so many people who are doing this though, so that's why I'm speaking these videos, and I'm thinking, well, you know, there's so many people doing a good job of it now. Is there actually that much that I need to say? You know. But I wanted to say about how this raw food thing is, and since I'm doing this little diary, I did miss out yesterday because of so much going on. But day 6 now. Day 1 to 3 was really difficult because I'd been eating cooked food, and like I love my tomatoes and my, you know, well, last time I started eating other stuff, I'd had cheese, and then I'd had I think we had some meat a little while ago. So, you know, I'm by no means like the perfect raw food person. I'm still trying to like sort of work it all out and find out what's best and what works. And it is difficult to go totally raw, you know, it really is. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting down sugars, like really, really low, because for me, sugar is aggravating my system, and it's feeding the parasites, as in, you know, the energies, not just stuff in the body. It's actually, you know, it's making psychic attack stuff worse, which we're getting a lot of psychic attack. I think because I've made a commitment to like follow my truth, follow my, you know, my path, and there will be blocks that come in to stop us doing that. Like for instance, when I tried to stop smoking about 7 years ago, and the next day, the biggest smoker around, who I used to know, calls me up and says, "Oh, can I come up to your place? You have to come on the train. It's about 100 miles away or something, so it's not a short little distance." And he came round and said, well, he came around with all this smoking and stuff, and I tried to kind of resist it, and I did, and in the end I bloody gave in, didn't I? I can't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, I did. And that started me on smoking again, and round the spiral I went again, and of course we want to be going up, I'm aware with like these videos and stuff, and with other people who are trying to wake up, of something that a lot of people may not have noticed, which is that obviously I understand that there's other entities and other beings on this planet who are affecting us all, and there's a lot of self-sabotage, and not all the sabotage is coming from us. Now, most people like to say that everything's a shadow, and that's alright, we've all got our own idea on stuff. A lot of stuff to do with the blocks as well. When you get blocks and you can't remember what you were going to say, there is mind manipulation and stuff that goes on. So I think there is some way of being able to change the brain waves, and affect our brain waves. But obviously I don't know everything about this yet. It takes time to understand what's going on, sort of thing. But I think anyone who truly wants to wake up, be aware that there will be temptations and there will be distractions and other things along the path. This is why people can't keep up, like the raw food thing, But that's what I was going to say, is that so I'll sit here making this video, trying to be myself and just being me, but someone who is having overshadowing from another being or entity will quite often, they will change the way the other person appears. I think David Icke might have said something about this, I'm not sure. So you will see someone who's trying to wake up spiritually, and they're honest from their heart, they really want to do this, they really want to wake up. And because this person is being manipulated, they will see that person wrong, and it will make them look as if they're all like, I'm better than everyone, and I'm, I'm doing all this stuff to heal, and I'm so good and all this crap, So basically it's manipulation. Sometimes it's subtle manipulation. Like even yesterday I was trying to help Katie see about the food, and I knew that what she was going to eat, which was paneer cheese, which is it's not as bad for you as normal cheese, but it's still dairy, which is, dairy is fine to a degree, but it depends how high up the ladder you want to go, because natural foods allow us to align with our spirit, and not just our spirit, but natural foods allow us to not channel other energies, whatever you want to call other energies, But yeah, I've lost the plot now. See, I knew I was in the flow. I was getting in the flow then. It's hard to get in the flow, but once you do. But basically, I'm just saying that there's a lot of sabotage to try and stop us, and everyone wants to say it's your own study, it's this, blah, 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 and all this stuff. But once you reach a certain point, you start to realise that what we call the ego and what we call the inner child and all that stuff that pulls on things, wants people's attention, all this stuff, was deliberately orchestrated through the ages of our life growing up as a child. So, and then we became weak to this manipulation. And now it's like, get these two people in a drama, and then they'll go and buy chips and, whatever stuff that's not good for them, I'm not saying what's good for you or what's wrong, but I'm just saying, it's a way to get you to buy or do something that's unhealthy, or make you feel like people don't care, or, make you feel that you're no good, I'm no good, like I'm rubbish, and then you'll be a real achiever to try and make up for this feeling of feeling no good, or wanting approval. How many of us want approval? I think all these things get better when you eat the right things for your body, when you know exactly what you need. because your system is working optimally, you know, like all your system is working properly. Your mind is clearer. Like my mind is clear at the moment, you know. You get less lower emotions, because what we've learnt is a lot of lower emotions that come in aren't even our own, especially when there's spirits around wherever you are around, you know. It's like you could be in an old people's home, like I am, you know, it's not too bad here. You could be in a pub where all the energies are gathering and wanting everyone to drink and join in, and, you know, all this stuff. You could, just going into a town, you know, the energy is different in a town. I'm just going to check this to see if this is recording actually. Right. Yeah, I've got limited space. I've kind of got like HD recording on, you know. I'm aware that I'm wearing like this little coat here, but that's how it's kind of quite cold here in North England. So we're going to try and just have a couple of weeks away, get some sunshine, I think. And so what can I say about raw food and food? I felt yesterday like I might need a bit of fish. So I can only assume it's the omegas or something like that. So I was thinking, you know, should I cook something and have that, you know. But I'm doing this video and I'm just going to say what I've done, you know, every day and how it feels. So that it's a kind of log, just not, you know, for me, not just for anyone else who might be interested in doing this as well. But yeah, it feels quite good. I feel like I've got the energy to go out for a run. So, you know, there's more energy, because that sluggish stuff you get from when you eat cooked food. I think also what they say about the chakras, and, you know, these are the centres in the body, the energy centres, that they say that they can backwash, like, at certain times. It's like the energy's going the wrong way. And what I feel is when we're eating something that isn't, say, designed for the body, like cheese, like whatever, you do get good stuff from cheese. Now, it's obvious, you know, like scientifically, they will say, you know, you get this, this, and this, but it will clog your arteries if you whatever, you know, all this stuff. But the negative is the vibration of the food. Our body was not designed for it. It's like, it doesn't line up with how our body works, you know. So you're giving it something that it needs, but you're kind of like creating this sort of friction. This sort of friction in the system, and of course that's not really helpful, you know. Like, our body does not want that. Like, if you think about it, like traffic on the roads that is just going constantly, car after car, noise after noise. If you were constantly in a party zone all the time, for instance, and you were constantly in a party, it would do your head in after a while, you know, and you'd start to feel worn down and drained. And this is my understanding with the digestive system and doing raw food and trying to eat as much as you need. And it's hard to overeat with raw food, you know, like, it's much harder. I can eat loads of bananas and stuff if I get on a sugar fest, but it's like, it doesn't last. But yeah, so a lot of this is about allowing the digestive system just to have a break. It's like, oh. Because it's been running and running and running and running. And this is what we're doing. We are doing this in our society. We are running as if there's no tomorrow, as if we've got to keep hold of a million things and we're going to lose our house if we don't, whatever, you know. There's so much worries. And I totally understand that if you've got the pressure of job and kids and house and mortgage and all that stuff, you know. My path isn't that. I've chosen a different path of my heart, and I'm going to have to sacrifice a heck of a lot of stuff. But I'm right to do that. You know, it's what I want. I don't want this other stuff. Like, the stuff of this normal world is beginning to mean less and less. And I don't mean that in a way like where you're detaching from the physical world. I mean that I am here and I love this earth. I like, you know, I like what's solid. But that's why I want to be here. You know, I want to be here and feel life and enjoy life. Because this is a gift. this life is a real flipping gift. I've made a vow to try and not swear on any of these videos, so I'm just going to say like flipping or something, you know, because I think it's just the best way to do it, really. And anyway, those darker energies, they're cursing all the time, you know. All they want to do is curse, and I guess for whatever the reason, they feel like they've been betrayed and stuff. Don't want to make this video too long. Wonder what it says. 15 minutes. So yeah, if I can inspire any people to actually feel like doing this thing, whatever it is they need to do, and really, this is about you trusting your body and what you need for yourself, because we all need different stuff. And like for me, I think it could be like I said on another video about my gran. She had diabetes, and I know that her system was probably overloaded with that, and maybe, you know, genetically we have a weakness to diabetes, I don't know. But I know that sugars, these beings and energies are riding on sugars. Now of course we need a certain amount of sugar for our mind to operate clearly, and I've noticed that before, because one time I went totally without any fruit sugars, I mean no sugar apart from what was in veg, you know. It's quite full on, and it worked in England. In England it worked. And then we went to Tenerife. I think it was Tenerife. Yeah, and it was so hot, you know. Like for me, being redhead, it was like whoa, you know, full on heat. And yeah, I was getting a bit weak, you know. I didn't have energy. Basically, my energy was just starting to dip because of that heat and that. And that was when I realised I needed sugar. So I had a couple of dates and that, and it was like, bing, you know, I'm back. Yay! I was back in business, ready to face the day. So my point is that I guess we are trying to learn what balance is. You know, it may be that I need a cooked meal every now and then. However, I'm going to try as hard as I can to not do that, you know. But there's a lot of cleansing to be done. And people, some people wonder, why are these videos so self-centered? You know, why is it all about you, you know? But it's not really, it's about us. Because it's about us healing now. It's about us changing things on this planet.